Just some administrative matters. To my left is Colonel Gregorio, and over here, and over there on the right is Lieutenant Colonel Zagala. No? They are the authorized, designated armed forces of the Philippines spokespersons relative to this crisis here in Zamboanga City. So anything having to do about military affairs, military matters, movements, details, etc. Will come from them. Nobody is authorized to speak regarding military matters other than them. This is so that we can prevent disinformation, psyops, and all sorts of other news that's not news, balita, kuryente, etc. that's circulating by text and even in the crawlers of certain news organizations that have not been verified. So for the media, Colonel Gregorio and Lieutenant Colonel Zagala, they will be giving you their cell phones, their locations, etc. And they will be speaking relative to military affairs. To the further right is Superintendent Huesca. He is also, please raise your hand. He is the designated spokesperson, exactly the same for the PNP. Everything having to do with the PNP matters, Colonel Huesca or Superintendent Huesca will be in charge. We also have with us Undersecretary Joe Lorena of the OPA. Oh, please raise your hand. Pinala ka naman sa nila, no? And he will be here in order to answer many questions relative to the tripartite talks, the Indonesia, the OIC, and so on and so forth. I just have and then of course we greet Congressman Celso Robregat, who you all already, Albert, and all the locals who are all your kababayans. We also have with us the Superintendent for the Bureau of Fire Protection, and he will be giving a report later on, so I'll reserve that for later. First of all, just several pieces of news. First, there were 328 passengers plus 8 infants, so a total of 336. That were quote-unquote stranded here in Zamboanga City, and the government arranged for a private vessel to return them back to Basilan. I will read exactly so that there's no misinterpretation. Naval Forces Western Mindanao facilitated the boarding of 328 passengers plus 8 infants aboard a civilian vessel at ENS Magini Pier, Naval Station Romulo Espaldon, Bagong Calarian, Zamboanga City, September 11, that was yesterday. Earlier, 150 students were stranded in Zamboanga City amid the now 4-day standoff. The said students from Basilan State College were in the city for a field trip and were supposed to return to Basilan last Monday. However, they were unable to do so because of the crisis. ARMM Regional Director of Basilan, Hajj hired a commercial vessel to ferry the stranded students, DSWD personnel, and other civilian residents who were displaced from the 5 barangays by the rogue MNLF members. The arrival of the vessel with all of these passengers was at 5 p.m. yesterday, and this was coordinated with the Naval Forces Western Mindanao in Basilan. So 328 arrived safely in Basilan. Next, there was a fire that occurred yesterday, and Superintendent Dominador Zabala, the District Fire Marshal of Zamboanga City Fire Department, attended to this. They went to the location, which was in Santa Barbara. The fire was in a school building, in a madrasa school building inside the mosque compound. When the firemen and the fire truck arrived, they were shot at. They were sniped upon. Thankfully, there was a wall that they sought shelter under, a wall to the compound. They bored a hole, they broke through some of the CHP or the cement of the wall, and from a lower elevation, crawled or crouched through into it and was able to bring in about 100 meters of fire hose line so that they could eventually put out the fire. I give you the superintendent of the Bureau of Fire to say a little bit about it.
Yes, I am Senior Superintendent Carlito, Senior the Regional Director of the Bureau of Fire Protection, Region 9. In addition with the information that we had, we were able to contain the fire for about 45 minutes. Much of our desire to extend our operations beyond where we were able to penetrate, but we were prevented by our military forces because we were fired up. As a result of the fire incident, the estimated damage to property was about 1 million. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the deal. Next item is the Hajj. The Hajj. This is quite extensive, so and with a lot of detail. As of recent reports, or the latest reports from the National Center for Muslim Affairs and their commissioner, Mex is here. Where's Mex? Mex, can you come join us? From the NCMF. For this area, for Region 9, the Zamboanga Peninsula, including Basulta, there are 1,042 registered Hajj visitors, pilgrims, Hajj pilgrims, 1,042. They are spread out in Zamboanga, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga Norte, as well as in Basulta. In Basulta in particular, there are 300 in Sulu, about 300 in Tawi-Tawi, and about 200 in Basilan. As you know, the airport is closed, and as you also know, the Hajj is a once-in-a-lifetime journey or pilgrimage that they make, and many of them have already bought their tickets, have made reservations, have made down payments, have already spent a lot of money for the preparations and reservations. They are unable to fly out of Zamboanga Airport as would normally be the case. Zamboanga has roughly 5 to 6 flights a day as between PAL Express, and Cebu Pacific. Accordingly, your government has arranged for these pilgrims to be flown to Cebu, no, by C-130. In Cebu, the airline whose ticket they are holding, whether it's PAL or Cebu Pacific, will honor that ticket and place them in whatever free seats are available Cebu, Manila. No? So if you have a Zamboanga Manila ticket, then you will be allowed to ride the C-130, you'll be brought to Cebu. That Zamboanga Manila ticket will then be honored by PAL, care of Mr. Ramon Ang, and by Cebu Pacific, care of Mr. Lance Gokongwei, will be honored, and you will then be allowed to board an aircraft for Manila so that you can continue on your pilgrimage. The NCMF will be the arranger or the coordinator here in Zamboanga City. Their office is in Camp Navarro, up in front of West Mincom, Upper Calarian, Zamboanga City. That is the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. They will be here. I will ask Mex to stay behind to give further briefing. Importante po ito para sa ating mga tagsubaybay. Kung hawak po ninyo, there will be 2 C-130s a day. 2 C-130s to Cebu per day for the next several days hanggang maubos itong 1,042. Kung meron pang extra na lugar, yung mga hindi kabahagi ng Hajj, papasakayin din. No? Kung negosyante man, or turista, or na-stranded dito, papasakayin din. Pero ang priority ay yung mga nasa lista ng NCMF na magha-Hajj. At 9 a.m., this will begin tomorrow, Friday, Biyernes bukas, no? 9 a.m. Lahat ng mga may hawak ng Cebu Pacific, sasakay. Alauna naman ng hapon, lahat ng may hawak ng PAL, makakasakay. Diba? So kung hawak po ninyo PAL, huwag po kayo pumunta doon ng alas 9. At ganun din, kung hawak po ninyo Cebu Pacific, huwag po kayo pumunta ng alauna. 9 a.m. Cebu Pacific, 1 p.m. for PAL. Dadalhin po kayo sa Cebu, may sasalubong po sa inyo doon from the NCMF. Dadalhin po kayo sa terminal, from the C-130, dadalhin kayo sa terminal at i-coordinate po kayo doon sa PAL o sa Cebu Pacific, as the case may be, para magpasama kayo sa lista na sasakay mula sa Cebu tungo sa Manila. Itong impormasyon na ito ay naipamahagi na sa mga sheikh ng bawat pilgrim group and magkakaroon sila ng mga assigned dates. Huwag po tayo magdadagsaan. Huwag po tayo magdadagsaan sa NCMF o sa airport bukas. May nakatakda. In other words, bukas, petsa 13, yung mga may hawak ng ticket ng petsa 11, 12, 13 lamang ang ma-accommodate. Sa susunod na araw, yung may ticket na petsa 14 ang ma-accommodate. At ganun din. Huwag po tayo magdagsaan doon dahil limitado naman po ang makakayanan ng isang C-130. And Max will elaborate on this further on. Lastly, two more points, no? Sa pagkain and sa supply ng Zamboanga. Sarado nga yung seaports at yung airports. Ganun pa man ay inatasan na ng Pangulo si DOTC Secretary Junabaya na maging coordinator kasama na ang sa DA na si Secretary Prosi Alcala at saka sa DTI na si Secretary Craig Domingo. Pagkakaisahan nila kung ano ang mga nakukulang na dito sa Zamboanga at pati na rin sa Basulta. At si Secretary Junabaya ang mag-arrange ng mga food brigade or food special trips sa barko para ang bigas, ang arena, ang iba pang mga pangangailangan ay maparating dito sa Zamboanga City o kaya doon sa Basulta area. So parating na ito at magsasimula na ito bukas o sa Sabado at the latest. Ang importante ho dito ay pina-inventaryo ng DTI ang kanilang mga kawani, lahat ng mga warehouse, lahat ng mga inventory sa kasalukuyan ay ini-inventaryo na para malaman kung ano talaga ang mga kulang na pagkain o kulang na kagamitan dito sa Zamboanga at ganoon din sa Basulta para nga ito ang ikakarga dito sa mga authorized na barko na ito. So that will be a continuing effort on the food resupply. Lastly, sa pagnenegosyo, inatasan din ng Pangulo at nakipag-coordinate ang pamahalaan sa Bangko Sentral at magkakaroon ng replenishment, no? Yung mga ATM machine, yung mga bank branches at mauunawaan ninyo for security reasons, hindi ko pwede sabihin kung ano talaga yung mga detalye nito, pero sa itong araw na ito ay in fact as we speak baka tapos na ay magkakaroon ng replenishment or kung ano man ang mga supply ng mga bangko, ng pera at iba pa ay mapaparating mula ng Bangko Sentral sa mga bank branch at pati na rin sa mga ATM. At tuloy-tuloy din po itong effort na ito. Nabanggit na po ni Chairman Beng, nagkaroon ng pag-uusap rekta sa negosasyon both sa kay Chairman Miswari at saka sa kay Commander Malik. At ito'y dagdag at bukod sa iba pang mga pag-uusap at negosasyon at parallel and iba pang mga efforts para mag-reach out na malutas ito sa mapayapang paraan. Ganun pa man ay nakikiusap po kami sa ating mga kababayan. Hindi po natin maiwasan itong mga accidental na mga firings, yung mga pagpapaputok na maya ay nagaganap na ngayon lamang bago tayo nagsimula ay nagkaroon ng ilang mga paputok ay hindi natin maiiwasan ito. Hanggat maaari po ay lumikas po tayo. Pumunta po tayo sa mga designated pick-up points. No? Sasabihin po ni Mayor Ben saan itong mga pick-up points na ito at magmula doon dadalhin mo kayo sa ligtas na lugar kung saan may pagkain. Nandun po kami kanina at Secretary Dinky will be able to expound on this a little bit later on. There are about 9,000 people ngayon doon sa sports center. Randomly, nagtanong-tanong ako para at saka si Secretary Dinky, nakakain na buong katayo. Ang sagot ay oo. Ang tanong, sunod na tanong, kahapon ilang beses, ang sagot 3. So sapat ho ang pagkain, sapat ang mga doktor, ang mga gamot, at portalet, banig, kumot, pati tents ay mapaparating doon. So sa ating mga kababayan, magsilikas po tayo. Ayaw ho natin na madamay tayo dito sa gulo na ito. Yung mga wala namang kinalaman, lalong-lalo na sa mga barangay ng Talon-Talon, ng Rio Hondo, ng Santa Catalina, at saka ng Santa Barbara. Kung wala naman po kinalaman sa gulong ito ay magsilikas na po at meron pong mga pick-up points na secured. Makarating lang po tayo doon at dadalhin po kayo sa ligtas na lugar. Hanggang doon lang po mula sa DILG. And with your permission, madami pa ako kaming kailangan gawin. I will excuse myself na. Mayroong spokesman na yung AFP for security matters. May spokesman na yung PNP for police matters. Okay? Okay tayo.